Hey there, welcome to another video. If you're here for the first time or you're returning, welcome. Don't forget to hit that red button and subscribe so you can get a notice anytime I put up a new video. Now today's video is a very interesting one. It's one that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, and it is about love language. So this is based off a widely popular and groundbreaking book, this one, authored by Dr. Gary Chapman, where he describes how people tend to give and receive and demonstrate their love. Now, I'm excited to break this down for you. So if you're curious, if you're struggling, or if you want to be more intentional in giving and receiving love, whether in a relationship or in your friendship, then all you have to do is keep on watching. All right, guys, let's get straight into it. Have you ever been in one of those type relationships where you do all you possibly can to show love to your loved one, but somehow they still feel frustrated and unloved? I mean, what more could they want, right? It can be so annoying, but the premise or the concept of love language is that we each have a native or primary language for receiving and giving love. And it is also possible for couples to truly love each other but still feel unloved at certain times because they don't speak the same love language. Now, most of us, a lot of times, we tend to think that the way we want to be loved is the way other people want to be loved, and that's the first mistake. That's the first error. If you're not speaking the same love language or the love language that the other person wants to hear, then you can be missing the mark. It's like a British guy speaking to a Polish or a Chinese person who doesn't really understand English, but the English person speaking to them in English. You can imagine how that conversation would go. Yeah, not very well. So it is important that you identify, learn, and seek to understand how you like to give and receive love, and how your loved one also likes to receive love, so that you can love them and treat them accordingly. Now, as we go on, your love language might become more apparent to you in this video, and this is also very applicable to other areas of our lives and our relationships as well. So let's take a look at the 5 love languages. Number 1, words of affirmation. So this is a language where you compliment, you affirm, and encourage your loved one. This can be spoken or written. So if this is your love language, you like to hear words of encouragement, you like to hear kind words, you like to hear words like I love you, I appreciate you, you look incredible in that dress, you look incredible in that suit. Now, I always tell my husband he looks incredible when he puts on a suit. Now, not because it's his primary love language, just because it's what we should do normally to people, to our loved ones, and it's also not his regular style of dressing, so it's just too good to pass on without a compliment. So yeah, that's just my extra, just because it's a nice thing to do anyway. And on the flip side, insult, demeaning words, and negative comments cut deep to these people, and then they make a big deal out of something that you thought was very little, very small. So to these kind of people, words are very important. Verbal compliments are far greater motivators than nagging words. Tip: so if your loved one speaks this love language, make it a point to give them more specific compliments and encouraging words every time, and watch what happens. Occasionally drop them a text or an email with a note of affirmation, thank them, compliment them when they least expect to be thanked or complimented, and watch what happens. Now, to these people, you need to remember that words speak louder than action, and they need to hear you say it. Number 2, quality time. Now, this is the language of spending time with someone. I like the way Dr. Gary Chapman put it. Quality time, he says, is giving someone your focused and undivided attention. Emphasis on the word focused and undivided. Now, to these people, unlike words of affirmation, talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. They don't care so much what you say or how you say it, but they feel satisfied, full, and loved when you spend that quality time with them. Quality time that is free of distraction. Your phone can wait. To these people, time is a precious commodity, so you have to be intentional about it with these kind of people. And on the flip side, cancelled or postponed dates, failure to spend that quality time or pay attention and listen to them can be extremely hurtful to these kind of people. Tip: If your loved one speaks this love language, don't assume. Ask them what activity they would enjoy doing with you and make a conscious effort to engage with those activities. Now remember, when they tell you what they need, you have to pay attention, you have to be observant, and you have to be intentional about speaking that love language to them. Number 3, receiving gifts. Now, receiving gifts to these people shows the love, the thoughts, and the effort that has gone into these gifts. This is not to be mistaken for materialism, but receiving gifts, whether expensive or not, shows love and appreciation. It can be very little things such as food, clothing, flowers, and so on. So the other day I was trying to purchase a product for myself, and I thought it'd be nice to get my husband something as well, which I did. Now, when I gave it to him, his reaction was, oh, is this for me? Okay, thank you. But then I thought, wait a minute. I was expecting a different kind of reaction. If it was me, I would have probably been jumping, excited. Ooh, I got a gift. Let me see what's in the gift. If it was a piece of clothing, I'm, looking forward to trying it on. If it was I don't know, whatever it is, I'm ready to tear it open. And then I asked him why that reaction. Then he said, because he doesn't really care much about gifts, right? But he also said, wait, hold on a second. What did you say about receiving gifts and love language?
If it's not expensive, you can keep it.
Did you hear that? So if it's not expensive, you can keep it. But regardless, expensive or not expensive, I'll continue doing it anyway, just because I feel like it's a nice gesture. But at the same time, this will not make his primary love language suffer. So obviously his primary love language will be the main focus, and this will just be, an extra little something that I'm just going to be doing. And on the flip side, missed birthdays, missed anniversaries, missed special occasions can be extremely hurtful to these kind of people. Remember, the cost doesn't count as much. It's the thought that matters. Tip: if your loved one speaks this language, then you have to be very observant. You'd have to keep a gift idea notebook. So whenever your loved one says they like something or they wish they had something, just make a note of it and speak that language to them whenever you can. Now, you don't have to go and break the bank. Remember, for these people, it's not the cost as much. It's the thought that matters. And I'm sure they probably will not even appreciate you breaking the bank. So you just have to get creative. Number 4, acts of service. Now, with this language, actions speak louder than words. They really do. You may never say I love you or I appreciate you, but doing something to ease their burden of responsibility will make them feel extremely loved. Now, an example could be, taking out the trash, taking the kids to school, cleaning the house, running errands, and so on. So on the flip side, broken promises, not helping out, will certainly make this person feel unloved and uncared for. Basically, if you're not going to or you're not willing to show your support and appreciation by doing them a favor or helping out in one way or the other, they may not value you, because it simply sends a message that you don't care. Honestly, I think people that speak this language are the hardest to demonstrate love to, because no one really wants to be forced to do anything, but you have to constantly be on your toes. You have to be doing something to show and prove your love to them. This can be draining. At the same time, I think that the people that speak this language perhaps are not aware of the undue pressure that this can put on a loved one to speak their language. Tip: if your loved one speaks this language, ask them to list 10 things that they would like to be done in the next week, in the next month, in the next couple of months, and pay attention and also help out where you can. Number 5, physical touch. Now, this is not just about intimacy, but it is certainly a part of it. It can also be as simple as giving random hugs, random cuddles, random kisses, holding hands, and just, making sure that physical, touchy-feely is always there. Tip: if your loved one speaks this love language, reach out to hold their hands when you walk together, when you sit together, and by all means feel free to do other physical things that that they like to do. So that's how your loved one needs to receive love. But if you're still struggling to discover or figure out your own love language, then let's take a look at a few things. Number one, examine your childhood. How did your parents express love? What made you feel loved as a child? These things could have translated into how you now express and receive love. Number two, how do you express love? Now, what would you usually do to show people that you love them? Chances are what you do to others is what you want to be done to you as well. Number three, how have you been hurt in the past? So if you've been through any hurtful relationship, exploring that experience might help shed more light on what language was missing and what language you wish was spoken to you. And the final one, what do you most often complain about or request from your loved one? Or you never call, you never do this, you never do that. You know, those things that may seem little to others but are huge to you. Because guess what? Your loved one is going to speak to you in his or her own love language, and you're also going to be trying to get from them your own love language. And in the process, you might come off as being needy or nagging. You just have to figure it out, because trust me, it can become a mess. And chances are that our loved one is speaking to us in a language that we don't understand, and you're also speaking to your loved one in a language that they don't understand. Now, it is very, very important that you understand that these love languages can change over time, depending on the season of your friendship, your relationship, or your marriage. So what you have to do is remain observant and communicate with each other how you'd like to be loved. Also, remember that it will not always be easy, straightforward, or comfortable to speak in your loved one's love language. But sometimes we have to choose to love even when it's not comfortable. So if you have to learn it, learn it. Trust me, it would make life much easier for you. Now, when you discover your loved one's love language, speak it to them regularly so that you can fill up their love tank and keep it full. Now, a love tank is like the gas tank of a car. When it's full, your love life will be at its best, and it can also take you through tough times. But when it's low, you may not always get immediate results. You just have to be consistent and watch what happens. Now, when I say watch what happens, I don't mean watch what happens as soon as you buy that gift, spend that quality time, carry out that particular act of service, carry out that physical touch language, spend quality time with them. I don't mean that. I mean, watch what happens as you continue to be consistent, as you continue to practice and speak in the language that they understand. So if you're still not sure what your love language is after watching this video, then I'll encourage you and your loved one to take a quiz to find out. I'll put a link to the quiz below, and you can also get your loved one to watch this video. Now, there's a quiz for couples and singles as well. Finally, remember that we're not perfect, but if we want to develop an intentional, loving relationship with each other, then we need to know and listen to what the other person needs. Now, people often take these love languages for granted because they think they're small things, but hey, it's the little foxes that kill the vine. So you want to pay attention and you want to take it seriously. You also want to give them the love that they need in the language they understand. Alright, so that is a breakdown of the 5 love languages, how to give and receive love. I hope you have found this useful to you and your relationship. If you thought this was insightful, remember to hit the like button and subscribe. It's free. Let me know how you like to receive and give love in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next video.